In 1963, Pepsi launched its first Diet Cola with a name that evoked kicking back in the shade on a hot summer day. Patio Diet Cola was basically Diet Pepsi, and it would be rebranded as such just a year later. But that first year saw a variety of patio flavors enter the market, including grape, orange, and root beer. You might even remember fitness guru Debbie Drake as the soft drinks spokesperson. Fizzies were tablets that were developed in the late 1950s that would add instant carbonation and fruit flavor to a glass of water. The Emerson Drug Company sold the sugar-free flavored tablets to wide public appeal, and by 1968, the product was even outselling Kool-Aid. Unfortunately, the sugar substitute in Fizzies included the sweetener cyclamate, which was eventually banned. That, along with the short-lived fizz and diluted flavoring, led to its eventual demise. Mercurochrome, a dark pink over-the-counter antiseptic, was used on just about every cut and scrape during the 1960s. It stung, it smelled funny, and it stained everything. It also happened to be in just about every medicine cabinet in the US, until the FDA figured out that drugs containing mercury could be harmful to us. Kids who grew up in 1960s America will undoubtedly remember Uncle Milton's ant farm. The ant farm was heavily promoted in comics and magazines, and went on to sell 20 million farms to kids across the country. After purchasing an ant farm, you also had to mail a request for a shipment of 25 ants, which would arrive in a vial a few weeks later. Although the ant farms are still being sold today, it was the ant farm craze in the 1960s that caused them to hit their peak. Hanging out at the local candy store may have been your first taste of freedom and your first experience with spending money. You could go with the change from your piggy bank and buy all the sweets your mom didn't allow you to eat at home. These stores range from novelty shops and pharmacies to five-and-dime stores. Kids often went in packs after school, and no one worried too much where you'd been as long as you didn't spoil your appetite. Hosted by America's oldest teenager, Dick Clark, American Bandstand was must-see TV for every kid growing up in the 60s. Not only did the show help us discover new artists like Smokey Robinson, Stevie Wonder, Sonny and Cher, and Tina Turner, but it also taught us hot dance crazes like the locomotion and the mashed potato. Baseball has never been more exciting than it was in 1961, when Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle, who both played for the New York Yankees, were in a neck-and-neck race to break Babe Ruth's then-record 60 home runs in a single season. On October 1st, during the last game of the regular season, Maris ended up hitting his 61st home run against the Boston Red Sox. Bicycles with high-rise handlebars and a banana seat, resembling a chopper motorcycle, instantly made it the coolest ride on the block. First produced by Schwinn in 1963, kids loved it because it had a comfortable padded seat that was big enough to carry more than just one rider. As BMX entered its heyday in the 1970s, bikes with banana seats fell out of style. But baby boomers can never be convinced that any other bike makes for a more idyllic childhood. TVs in the 1960s were gigantic, heavy, and usually mounted in a big wooden box that looked like a piece of furniture. The console television not only antennaed in the latest episode of The Andy Griffith Show, but it also provided enough room on top to show off all of your family photos. During the 1960s, expectant mothers across the United States would commonly be seen smoking. At the time, no one really understood the damage that could occur from smoking cigarettes while pregnant. The doctor-endorsed advertisements, along with a lack of research on the topic, had mothers everywhere thinking it was completely fine. But it would later be found to increase miscarriages and contribute to other problems like low birth weight. The British rock group The Beatles were a massive hit with American teenagers in the 1960s. By 1964, when they landed in America, the Beatles were greeted by more than 3,000 crazed fans at the airport before they were whisked away to prepare for their appearance on The Ed Sullivan Show. Within 2 weeks of arriving in America, the British invasion, as Walter Cronkite called it, saw 5 Beatles songs entrenched in the Billboard Hot 100, including the top 2 spots. And their televised performances had broken all ratings records, making them international superstars. It was a moment in history that nobody alive at the time will ever be able to forget. The Apollo 11 mission occurred just 8 years after President Kennedy issued the challenge, and as he took the first human steps on the lunar surface, astronaut Neil Armstrong called it one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. For everyone who saw it live on TV, which included a worldwide audience, it was the most amazing thing they had ever seen. If you enjoyed this video, check out the description for links that help support the channel. And as always, thank you so much for watching.